Hi everyone. In my previous video I've shown you a bunch of different hero mechs. It was a video where I've talked about how I've managed to collect every single hero mech that exists out there as of today, as of the latest DLC, which is Solaris Showdown. I know there is another DLC which is coming out next month in September, called The Shadow of Kerensky, which will probably bring some new hero mechs as well. But as of today and as of the time of filming this video, the latest functional DLC is still the Solaris Showdown. So I've shown a bunch of hero mechs and I've talked about how I've managed to gather all of them. But I also mentioned several reasons why I am not particularly a fan of hero mechs as such, as a concept itself. I am not a big fan of this concept. Today, however, this video is going to be different, because here I would like to show every single Gladiator mech or the Arena mech which came specifically with that last Solaris Showdown DLC. And just to tell you up front, actually I do like these mechs a lot. I am not sure, again, I am not a big lore expert. I am not sure whether these mechs are apocryphal or not. But nevertheless, I do like them. I do like them way better than any of those, hero mechs as a concept. And some of them are even one of my all-time favorites. So let's see what is going on in here. So here I brought from my cold storage every single arena mech which exists in this game so far. There are not a lot of them. However, I did manage to gather every single variant of this so-called Gladiator Mech, which were designed specifically for the arena combat. Now, one thing though that I should mention is that I do not have the variant which is advertised on the official website of the game, which is VT-1X. I am not sure what that mech is. Sounds like some kind of Victor variant, but the thing is, I've never encountered that mech for sale either in industrial hubs, neither did I ever encounter it in combat while fighting a bunch of different, arena combats. I've never came across that variant, so maybe it's a kind of a bug. I am not sure if you ever seen that mech, please let me know, but in my countless hours of playing this game, and as I've shown in one of my previous videos, this is the year of 3126 in here in this campaign, I had never come across that particular variant. But aside from that, I have every single one of them, and moreover, I have several mechs of some variants. This is how I like some of them, and this is exactly why I like arena variant mechs as a concept much better than the hero variants, because with hero variants you can only have one of them because they are so unique. With this Gladiator mechs, it's a completely different story, because you can actually have several of each variant, and as a matter of fact, you can even build a lance of 4 mechs of these variants of the of each chassis. Anyway, so let's see what is going on. So I've brought, like I said, I've brought all of this mech in here in the alphabetical order. It's not it doesn't go here by the class, it goes by the alphabetical order. So we are gonna start with this cataphract in here. So let's take a look at the loadout. So this is my preferred loadout for this variant. Let's actually check what was the original loadout. So default loadout was this. It comes with the 3 rapid fire autocannons AC5. It's actually pretty good and pretty devastating package. With the only problem is that this autocannons variant, the rapid fire, they consume this ammo way too quickly. It may not be enough. So for that matter, what I've done, and you know, I would have been fine with this build, except here I've just decided to go with the 3 AC2 rapid fire variants instead, because this particular variants of the AC2, specifically the rapid fire variant, is actually way better than any of the standard AC2's rapid fire or even burst fires rapid fires. Those weapons are useless to me, and I'm not even using them. I don't think I even have in my equipment collection. However, the rapid fire AC2 is a completely different story, and I had a number of videos on this channel where I've loaded one of the annihilators with 4 of these things, and as a matter of fact, I've completed one of the most difficult campaign missions with that mech without any lancemates, where you get to kill one of the main villains in this game, Kenzo Yamato. I have a video of this on this channel, please check it out. So anyways, this is the build which I came up with. It's okay. I mean, frankly, I am not a huge fan of the cataphract mech. In general, it's kind of like, you know, it often tends to be you know, jack of all trades and master of none, but depending on the variant and the configuration, it can definitely work. I mean, if I configure it well, I probably wouldn't complain, although at the same time I would probably prefer some other heavy mech instead. Anyway, so this is the loadout which I came up with. Now let's go ahead and take a look at other variants. So here is the Corsair, and again you can have a lance of this mechs. Let's see what's going on in here. Looks like I'm under-tarnished in here, and I wonder why. Should I use more ammo? Yes, I should probably use more. I don't know how come I missed it. Yeah, I should use more ammo for the AC10 for sure. Yeah, so this is the loadout which I came up for this. Again, Corsair is kind of like a ghetto chassis which has been built with parts from other mechs. They usually, you know, pilot this in the periphery, but, you know, it is what it is. I kinda prefer the other Corsair, the one that you get as a bonus after completing one of the campaign missions where you fight the Pirate King in the periphery. You get to salvage his Corsair. Ah, hold on a second. This is what's going on. I think it's missing a laser. Yeah, I think something like that. Or maybe I should go with a small pulse laser. I don't know. I haven't really, you know, piloted this variant all that much to, you know, to decide which particular loadout I like better. But anyways, so let's go with this for now. Again, I'm not sure whether I should even bother with this one, because, you know, I don't particularly care Corsair as a chassis in general. And then, of course, once again, this is a hero mech. This is a hero variant. You can only have a single one of these mechs in this game, but this one also comes with this latest Solaris Showdown DLC. This is what this DLC brings in here. And this is what I like loading this one with. Actually, hold on a second. What the heck am I talking about? This is that Corsair which I was talking about earlier that belonged to that Pirate King. I've shown it once on this channel. Sorry about that. Let me move this away and let's save the loadout because I have a mod which allows me to do this. Let me bring that other Corsair which I'm talking about. There are two heroes now, hero variants of this mech. It's this one, the LZ. Yeah. Let's see what's going on. Oops, I think I ran out of those two AC-10 rapid fire variants because I don't like the AC-10 rapid fire variants. Perhaps instead I should go with the burst fire variant. It's far more devastating at a close range. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So yeah, this is my preferred loadout, I think. This is again intended for the close range combat, as you can see. It doesn't really have any long range weaponry, but it's good for, you know, arena combats this way. It's gonna be quite devastating at a close range. You can really, you know, obliterate any like medium or heavy mech in one salvo in here. So yeah, let's probably go with something like this for now. So let's start some work and then okay, and now we are getting to one of my all-time favorite arena mechs, this Crusader. Oh my gosh, do I love this one. Yeah, this is like absolute beast. This mech, this close range firepower is like 2 SRMs with 2 PPC-X. Again, this is built for a close range combat. This is absolutely amazing. I absolutely love this one. Of course, I mean, if you wanna have more range, you can, of course, you know, replace these PPCs with the standard ones. That would do it also well. It's gonna be kind of like a Warhammer on steroids. If you do that could also work very well. I've tried that. Yeah, you can totally replace this with standard PPCs, and then yeah, you get a decent long-range firepower as well, especially, you know, for a 65 tonner. But for now, for the arena combats, especially in, you know, tight situations, this is an absolute beast. I love it. I think I've got 6 of this in my collection. I can have like a full lance of this mech. This is one of my favorites. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. I mean, what can I say? Fantastic variant, fantastic mech. Okay, let's move on. Then, again, one of my all-time favorite mechs in this game. Not even in the light mech category, but, you know, in general, for specific purposes, as a demolition mech, as a reconnaissance or demolition mech. I don't even have it painted in the, you know, in this fancy color, you know, fancy arena color. I have it painted in my standard camo. This is because I always have at least one of these fire starters sitting in my hut storage, because I always use this for demolition missions. It can be even used for raid missions, like when you have to get into certain area really fast, destroy like a bunch of buildings and then just run away. So it's probably the best option for that matter, because look at this. It's got 4 jump jets and it's got 8 whopping machine guns. I've said this many times before and I will say this again. While a single machine gun won't do much in this game, however, when you start stacking them up like this, it can be absolutely devastating, especially, you know, against the buildings. Absolutely fantastic mech. One of my all-time favorite mechs in this game. Let's actually check out what was the original loadout. The original loadout was, it still got 6 machine guns, which is plenty a lot, but it doesn't have any jump jets, as you can see, and it replaces a couple of machine guns with this AC2 rapid fire, which I don't think really makes all that much sense. And then a light rifle, burst fire. Light rifle is actually fine. I do like rifles, even though they may be apocryphal. I do like MechWarrior 5's rifles, because from the standpoint of science, they are more realistic than any of the fictional autocannons, because these are technically like pre-Star League era ballistic weapons, which are somewhat similar to the ones that we have now. So anyways, I don't use this kind of weaponry. This is what I do. Jump jets, obviously, and 8 machine guns. This is probably the mech which I featured as one of the most frequent ones on this channel. Many times, whenever there is like a high-risk demolition mission, and if I have to go without my lance mates, this is my mech to go to. Absolutely fantastic. I can't say how much I love this thing. Absolutely amazing. And then for that matter, I would also like to show you the upgrades that I use on this badass. These two are two of my standard ones, which I use on all of my mechs whenever it comes to performing upgrades. Then I can also reinforce this, provide some extra reinforcements in here. So I reinforce all the way to the max. This one increases the damaging potential of all the ballistic weapons by 10%. And then what I also do, I boost its top speed. As you can see, its top speed, original top speed, I think it was 100 kilometers per hour, and then here where is, hold on a second, where is top speed? Yeah, and now it's boosted. No, its original was 113 kilometers per hour actually, and now it's boosted all the way to 130, which is which is quite helpful when it comes to high risk demolition missions, like the one of the final missions of the main mercenary campaign. I have a video on this channel, so please check this out. And then lastly, once again, I use this. I use 2 of these actually superior detonation upgrades just to increase the damage potential of all these machine guns. Again, this is kind of still like an incremental type of upgrade, as you can see, from 2.4 to 2.76, but I'm just doing it because I can. If you don't have, like I said this many times, if you don't have your cantina unlocked, and if for some reason you're unable performing the upgrades, don't worry about it. This mech is still a badass one, even without any of the upgrades. Okay, moving on. Here is another fantastic mech, which I really like for close range combat, this Highlander. And it's got a lot of fans too, for a very good reasons. Absolutely fantastic close range firepower. I mean, the original loadout was something like, let's see. Yes, I don't think I necessarily like this AC-20 rapid fire. I replaced it with the standard one. Initially, I did have dual SRM-6s in here. However, later on, I've decided to swap them for the SRM-4s, just because Highlander can run fairly hot, and dual SRM-6s, they generate a lot of heat, and it's just a greater risk of overheating this mech. So for that matter, I've decided to downgrade SRM-6s for dual SRM-4s, which is still you know, pretty devastating firepower right there, and then I just increased the number of double hit sinks to keep it cool, because AC-20 also does generate a fair bit of heat, you know, and if you're shooting salvos all the time, it can build up a little bit. But hold on a second, what is going on? Why is there so much armor on the rear? No, it's got to be, you know, something like this. I don't like having, or maybe something like, let's say, whatever. I'm not gonna bother with this now. It's okay. Yeah, and of course that's the one of the main highlights of this mech is this arena supercharger, which can temporarily boost its top speed, as you can see, by 120%. And then one of the main weapons, which is the melee weapon, is the this assault greatsword, which is the heaviest melee weapon in this game. It's absolutely devastating. Look at the damaging potential. Oh my gosh, it's 110.5 points. This is absolutely ridiculous. It's kind of like it's in equivalent to Clan's Kodiak when it's when it shoots everything in salvo. Yeah, absolutely devastating in one arm. In one arm, so much firepower. But even without it, you know, salvoing all this stuff can be pretty devastating. I love this variant. I love this variant. I've never been a huge fan of the Highlander chassis in general, except perhaps, you know, I can appreciate the early Star Relic variant, which comes with the Gauss rifle. That one is okay, but in general I never really particularly enjoyed the Highlanders because the arms were kinda weak, which were getting knocked off rather quickly. But here, you know, it doesn't seem to be all that much of a problem, because you're fighting a lot at a close range with this one, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I should probably make another video on this variant on this channel. And of course, it's also got the jump jets, as you know, all of the Highlanders do. Okay, anyways, so let's go ahead and see the other arena mechs. This Hunchback variant. To be honest, I haven't really piloted this one all that much. I did pilot it a couple of times, but I haven't really spent a great deal of time with this one. So, yeah, I think this was the build which I eventually came up. Here, let's see what was the original. Loadout. Let's see. Yeah, you know, it's somewhat comparable. Yeah, it's comparable to what I've got in here. Anyways, let's move on, because like I said, I don't have a whole lot of experience piloting. I've destroyed a bunch of this though. As a matter of fact, I think this is how I got it. I salvaged it while fighting those arena missions, but I haven't spent a whole lot of time piloting it actually. And now let's talk about this Loader King chassis, which is, you know, exclusive to this latest DLC, the Solaris Showdown. To be honest, I am not that big of a fan of this chassis. It's okay, depending on the variant, it can be okay, and depending on other variants, it can be kinda meh. I don't really care, to be honest. So, starting with this LDK-IDM, this is the hero variant. I don't remember what was the story about it, but this is probably, you know, the most fun variant, because it's got 3 heavy rifles in here. This could be an actually pretty good, pretty great sniper, I should say, specifically for a long-range combat, and then for this, you know, for close-range encounters, you get this 3 SRM2s. It's an interesting variant, I must say, actually. This one could work, except you know, this you have to be careful because these heavy rifles, they generate a lot of heat, but also they take a long time to reload. What was the original loadout in here? Let's see. Heavy rifles burst fire. Yeah. To be honest, I prefer them in standards heavy rifles because it works much better at longer ranges. Because the burst fire heavy rifle can get a little bit sloppy, especially at a long range. So anyways, this is my preferred loadout for this variant. Let's see what are the other variants. We've got this Dash SA5. What did I came up with? Oh, Gauss rifle, yeah. For small lasers. Yeah, I think this was like the conclusion which I've come to. Gauss rifle for a long range combat and sniping, and this is for the close range encounters. Doesn't have a whole lot of medium range capability in here, but you know, it's kind of like a mixture of a close range and long range. Not so much for the medium one. Let's see what is the other variant. Then we've got this Dash X1A. I think this is what I came up with for this one, given the tonnage. Something like this, you know, kind of like, once again, a jack of all trades and master of none. Like I said, I don't particularly care about this chassis as such. And then Dash X1B variant. Again, kind of, actually, you know, this one has a pretty decent close range firepower right here. And the rapid fire autocannons, you know, you can shoot them far away too pretty well, and I've demonstrated this in on this channel a number of times where I have one of my Annihilator loaded with 4 of them. So yeah, this is what I came up for this one. Then let's see what else we've got. By the way, according to this, you know, MechWarrior 5 official website, and you know, reading their page for the Solaris Showdown, Loader King, as far as I understand, was originally, I mean, initially it was an industrial mech, and I think they turned it into the, you know, arena combat mech. Let's see what's going on here, and why am I so under-tonnaged? Why am I so under-tonnaged in here? What's going on? Why is this small missile slot is missing? SRM Artemis. I think it's SRM SRM4 Artemis, right? Yeah, I think this is what it should have been. Yeah. So for some reason, yeah, I came up with this kind of loadout for this specific variant. I don't remember why. I don't pilot any of these loader kings all that often because, once again, I don't particularly care about this chassis all that much. And then the last variant, Dash X3A. What's going on? All energy based variant. I remember that. This is, you know, somewhat reminiscent of the Warhammer. You can, of course, replace this with any kinds of PPCs. You can use PPC-X, standard PPC, or in this case, I used the 2 ER PPCs because, you know, the hit management is pretty good with all of these 8 double hit sinks, and it's good for sniping distant targets. ER PPCs are great for that, even though they do generate a lot of heat. But it's not really a problem in here. And then we have a combination of several, you know, medium and small lasers. It's somewhat again reminiscent of the Warhammer, but not quite. Still, I would take a Warhammer any day of the week over this one. Warhammer is a classic, and classic for a reason, because it works. Okay, let's see what else we've got. So this was the last Loader King, and now and now we are finally getting to this Urban Mech variant. Well, honestly, I absolutely love this this thing. It is so much fun. It's like, you know, when I first time encountered this thing in combat, I thought, like, what the heck is going on? Why this is like Urban Mech? Why is this so freaking fast? Obviously, they upgraded the engine, plus they also installed this supercharger, which can, you know, boost its top speed almost like, you know, up to 200 kilometers per hour. What's the original speed, by the way? Yeah, 97. Yeah, it's like almost, I mean, not quite 200, but, you know, something like 180, but still it's just so much fun. I have a video, I think I have done one video on this variant on this channel. I should probably do this again at one point. I absolutely love this thing. You know, PPC-X, which is pretty devastating at a close range. You know, small lasers, dual small lasers are okay. And then this light rifle burst fire. Actually, let's see what was the original loadout. I don't quite remember. Ah, it's actually, you know, it's pretty much the original loadout. Well, there you go, there you go. I didn't even argue all that much with this. I think this is, you know, this is a pretty good loadout, and I mean, I could play around with replacing this with the standard light rifle, but I wouldn't, because at a close range, this one generates more damage than, you know, than the standard light rifle. Yeah, I like this a lot. And I didn't even use 3 double hit sinks. I removed one of them because the hit is alright in here, but I just wanted to use more armor. I think it's almost maxed out in here. Yeah, so it's fun. It's a fun thing. What can you say? And then here comes another one of my all-time favorite arena mechs. This Orion. It's an absolute beast of a mech. It's got, you know, a whopping firepower. It's comparable to awesome. I've loaded it with 3 PPC-X. Again, everything here is geared towards a close range arena combat. Absolutely love this thing. Absolutely love this thing. What can I say? Absolutely fantastic. You just need to manage your heat a little bit more careful in here, but it's also got this supercharger. It can accelerate, and then it's also got this black market countermeasures in here. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. One of my favorites, for sure. Yeah, I have several of this in my collection sitting in the cold storage. I can have actually a lunch of 4 of this. It's great also, you know, I've used it on raid missions, standard missions, not even exclusively at the arena combats. It works perfectly well for standard missions too. You can play around by swapping these PPCs for, you know, let's say standard PPCs, provided you manage your hit very carefully, but it's a fantastic variant. Absolutely love this one too. Then the next one is this Vulcan. Frankly, I'm not a fan. Not a fan because I just don't like Vulcan chassis in general. This is as if I do like, you know, Urban Mech. But the Arena Urban Mech is great though. This one, yeah, I mean, it can generate some pretty great damage with all of these 4 SRMs, but at the same time you also do need to manage your hit carefully here, so you have to be mindful of the hit in here. And then it's also got this, you know, light rifle burst fire. I mean, it can work. I'm just not a fan of the Vulcan SA chassis because it's kind of weak. It's kind of weak. It's so easy. It just loses its components way too quickly and way too easily. So it's okay. It's an okay mech. I wouldn't necessarily wanna pilot it regularly. Only maybe like every once in a while if I get bored. And then, lastly, but once again, one of my all-time favorite arena mechs, this Zeus. Oh my gosh, this thing packs a punch if you can configure this well. Initially I had 3 SRM6s here, and once I shoot all this stuff in salvo, you know, it's been enough to destroy a single heavy mech, like obliterated completely, even if you targeted it in a certain torso in one salvo. But later I've decided to replace SRM6s with this SRM4, just for a better hit management and also so I could, you know, take more ammunition in here. But still, even now it's an absolutely like brutally devastating package. Again, it's geared mostly towards the close range combat, close range arena type of combat in here, the way I configured it. But you know, this single AC5, it's got a great range and it can take down some distant lightly armored targets, especially like helicopters or, you know, flying targets, and even some ground vehicles, if you decide to use this on standard missions outside of the arena combats. Initially it came with the 2 binary lasers, I believe. Let's check. Yeah, this is what it initially came from. Frankly, I don't care about binary lasers at all. I've tried them many times. I am not a fan. I'd rather have either PPCs or standard lasers, but in this case I would prefer the standard PPC-X because just so much fun this way. At a close range, it's, you know, absolutely, you know, kind of a runaway package. It's absolutely brutal. Yeah, I have several of this, once again, several of this in my collections too, because I do like this variant a lot. So anyways, I think this is it. These are all the variants, minus that one I was talking about, VT-1X, that was advertised on the PGI website. I am not sure why it never appears in this game. Maybe it's just a bug, or maybe they just mixed something up, but as far as all other variants are concerned, this is pretty much, you know, a complete arena package in here. So this is it for this video. Again, please let me know what would you like me to show you on this channel, which specifically, like which one of these arena variants, which would you like to see in combat. Please let me know this in the comments. And I think this is pretty much it for this video. Thank you for watching, and until the next one, have a nice day.